So we are live. So people, welcome back to the channel. Okay, it's been a little while since we've done a bit of an upload like this on YouTube. So yeah, it's good to be back. And yeah, like I said, I thought we'd get this running again. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers now, which is kind of crazy to me. It's only because I've been uploading shorts in the last kind of 8-9 months since I last uploaded like a full video. It's probably why we've seen that growth. But yeah, it's good to be back on the channel. But yeah, today I thought I'd just kind of sit down and talk about how you can level up your life in 2024. I feel like in my own journey in the past 4 or 5 years, it's definitely something that I've looked to improve and how I can develop myself. I feel like as a young male as well, listening to this is the type of video that I would like to have listened to myself at the time. I know there's a lot of self-improvement people out there at this moment in time, but I feel like I can add my own 2 pence and have my own opinion upon that. Self-improvement, that's something that I'm deeply passionate about. So I thought I'd just jump on here, have a quick conversation about it. Nothing too long, but yeah, like I said, I feel like as an 18-year-old kid, that's something that I would have definitely benefited from this kind of video back then. I hope this benefits quite a lot of people out there listening to this video. So yeah, this is how you're going to level up your life in 2024. So I'm aware we're already halfway through 2024, but hopefully you can take this into the rest of the year and implement it into the rest of your life. So for me, starting off, I think any type of exercise is going to improve. So I'm not saying, you need to train, be in the gym 5-6 times a week, resistance training. Just any type of movement is going to be beneficial for yourself, whether that be kind of exercising, running, like obviously resistance training is important as well, but even if it's like swimming, running, combat sports, anything like that is going to help you benefit, feel better, mental clarity, and give you that kind of purpose and focus. So for me, for example, it was getting to the gym 5 times a week. So for people that don't really know me that well, I used to play football and some semi-professional until I was probably 18. So obviously played at national level, played football as obviously a kid growing up. That was like my main sport. And then played semi-professionally until I went to university. And then I kind of had a decision to make, do I continue to play or do I kind of go elsewhere? And that's kind of where I picked up my love for training and resistance training. So yeah, obviously I'm now 23 now, so obviously I've been training ever since then, to be honest with you. And I just find that it's so beneficial for me in terms of giving me a purpose, making me feel a lot more confident in how I feel, how I carry myself day to day. So it's not just about, lifting weights, for the mental side of things, it's also for the physical. The physical changes, it gets addicted. You can get quite addicted to kind of seeing progress and whatnot, but obviously it's about staying consistent. And obviously, as much as it is a good physical change for yourself, it's also good for your mind as well. So it kind of gives you that purpose, that drive. And like I said, I always think people go further if you're optimistic and enthusiastic about potential opportunities. I feel like you do go further in life if that is the case. And I feel like it's so important to be optimistic out there. There's a lot of people that like to pile pressure on you, put hate on yourself. And yeah, there's enough negativity in the world where you need to just add positivity. So I think it's so important to have that kind of growth mindset as well, setting out goals. So I think that's another thing that you can do, is setting out short-term and long-term goals. So obviously sometimes long-term goals, whether that be kind of financial, business, or physical goals, it's almost like going into the gym and expecting to walk straight in and be the most chiseled guy in there. After a few sessions, it's not going to happen. So like anything, like the gym and training will even give you that kind of dangle of a carrot, I guess. You've got to keep on going and keep that up and keep your diet. You can't just slack off once you've kind of built that body that you dream of. You can't just slack off. You need to keep going, whether you want to maintain it, whether you want to bulk and then diet. So it's kind of like that kind of analogy, basically. That kind of mindset is so key. So that's kind of what I would say. I mean, I even led me to doing a bodybuilding competition as well myself last year, which I placed in. And I just think that kind of endeavor where, I was in my final year of university, it would have been easy to me to just kind of like, this is too much, started dieting and then pulled out. For me, I wanted to finish that no matter what. Listen, I probably made a lot of sacrifices, and because ultimately it's a choice, but it's one of the best decisions I ever made. And it taught me so many things. And if I could take that into any area of my life, then I'm bound to succeed. That kind of endeavor of sticking to your diet religiously, missing out on social occasions, for the greater good of that competition, and it's that reward at the end of it. that delayed gratification, and that's the next point I want to move on. Learn to delay gratification. I feel like we're in a world now where literally everyone wants shortcuts and instantaneous gratification, whether that be through kind of alcohol, drugs, even sort of like betting, gambling. And I just think it's so important to delay that gratification. Like I said, when you kind of get in the gym and you start seeing results, that doesn't happen overnight, and it takes some kind of delayed gratification for you to get there. And I just think it's so important to learn the process. And it's like in business, like in the gym, that delayed gratification is so important, because I feel like nowadays everyone just wants everything instantaneously, and people need more patience. But we're in this kind of world where obviously, food can be delivered at the tap of our fingers, and obviously we've got social media platforms, we can access a lot of information, which is great, because obviously we didn't have this technology 20, 30 years ago. I just think it's so important that we actually, take a step back, and actually, with so much information out there, I think it's so important to actually, have your own mentality as well, because it's so easy to get influenced nowadays as well. Yeah, and also what I would say is as well, is trying to learn a skill that's obviously up to date, and something where you can potentially see progression within. And for me, for example, I would love to work from anywhere in the world, and learning a skill and having a business, i.e. online coaching, online fitness coaching, where I can genuinely scale that up and see progression within that, and actually, have the idea of wanting to move anywhere, and having that, being able to travel nowadays is so important, and that's like an aspiration of mine. However, I think it's so important to not get too bogged down in the whole social media kind of things, especially if you're someone who is, on social media, your screen time's high. Maybe try and have a bit of a digital detox as well, trying to come away from that, because I feel like it's so important to kind of think for yourself. It's so easy to get so easily influenced and bogged down with people seeing that they made millions on crypto, the new FX trader, and they're going to make you millions. And honestly, it's just far from the case that you should make millions. You should be financial freedom. Listen, I'm 22 years of age. I've got my own business. I'm trying to put myself out there on social media. I'm trying to grow my brand. I'm training 5 times a week and doing like 3 times a week. I'm trying to really build my profile and put myself on the straight and narrow. I don't go out partying, I don't drink, I don't smoke, etc., etc. And I feel like it's so important to just stay in your own lane, focus on you. Are you better than yesterday? Yes. If not, why not? And I think that's just so important, to try and obviously develop some kind of structure and routine to your day-to-day as well. Try and develop a routine, whether that be around your work, and then obviously, work on your 9 to 5, and then obviously your 5 to 9 as well. It's so important nowadays. So for finding that structure that works for you, whether you think that training first thing in the morning is best for you, or whether it's late after work, it really depends. But I think for me, when I was 18, 19 years old, I went to Loughborough University, studied sports science, and yes, I actually didn't have any family members that went to university. So there's kind of a bit between my teeth when I did get that offer from Loughborough, with it being the best sports university in the world. I thought that it was an offer that I could not refuse, as I was a bit unsure of what to do in terms of my career, and like I said, it was very much something that I've had to do off my own bat, which I'm very proud to say. I was the first person to graduate from my family from university, because it's just not a thing that not just my immediate family, but my outside family as well. So I feel like sometimes it's good to break the mold and go where maybe no one else has been in your family, which I think is really important also. But yeah, I did that obviously degree. I also did like a placement year, worked at Derby County Football Club for a year. I'm going to work within sport, and that's just something that it's a bit different when you're working within youth development, and actually when you're working for yourself. Obviously, when I get clients that do well, it's straight from my work, it's on my brand, it's on my business. Whereas obviously, in football clubs, sometimes they might sell a player for, I don't know, £16 million. You're not going to get paid an extra for the player that you coached, and get there. You're not going to get commission. So I think it's so important to, going back to my original point, was learning skills and actually going into industries and having a decent idea of what you might potentially want to do. But with that being said, some people can career pivot, and I think that's just so important that, you just stay in your own lane. It's not probably going to figure out the way that you want it to, or the way you think it will, and it will work out in the end. I think as well, doing challenging things for yourself. So for example, I went to Brussels a couple of weeks ago, didn't do any training for this half marathon. I ended up just doing it spontaneously, yeah, it was a challenge, but my God, I'm so glad I did it. You know, I was there anyway. I was supporting my friends, and you know, I thought, you know what, if I can just register, get a ticket, somehow I managed to find a ticket, and I managed to do it in an hour and 55 actually, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, this isn't something to blow smoke up my backside, but yeah, I just thought I would kind of jump on here and just say, listen, these are just my few tips. So obviously, what we've covered so far is obviously, you know, health and fitness, a growth mindset, social media detox as well. I think that's so important, and just having like some kind of idea of career you want to get into, and look at stuff that's actually up to date. You know, look at kind of what industries are doing well, what's booming, what's not doing so well, what are industries that maybe, you know, your parents might have worked in that's, you know, not doing as well anymore. So I just think that's really important to consider as well. Also as well, you know, not to go completely monk mode, because that's what I felt like I was doing when I was in my bodybuilding competition. But for me to kind of say that, listen, like it's important to have that social life as well. I mean, I'm not saying go out and party and whatnot, but I'm saying, like, you know, spend time with friends. I feel like I've been guilty in the past of saying, no, I'm not where I want to be in life, so I need to just continue to work and lock in. You know, apart from if I was training, apart from that, it'd be working and researching how and editing content, how I can get to where I want to get to, and that always come at the kind of the detriment of my social life and my social battery, family, maybe family and friends as well, which is really important. You know, you need to make time for them. It's about having some kind of balance. I'm not saying, you know, you need to be fully balanced, you know, and whatnot, but I feel like going completely to one extreme to another is just not going to be beneficial for your mental health. I've been there, listen, I've been there myself. You know, trying to think, no, we're not going out this time. Even if it's like, you know, I'm not saying, you know, you need to go out, make sure you need to go out clubbing once a week or whatever. It's not that. It's more, you know, making time for family and friends, having time for them and actually spending time with them, because I think that's going to be more beneficial to your mental health than actually not doing anything at all. It could be more counterproductive because you're thinking, no, I'm not going to go out there because I'm not where I want to be in life. But then you probably don't do the things you want to do. It's almost like rewarding yourself for little milestones, you know, and having those little short-term goals. Going back to goal setting, having those long-term goals is important, you know, in terms of, I don't know, for example, you know, career advancement, or, you know, whether that be in the gym. You know, you need to put that work in over time, but, you know, it's not going to get done overnight. So it's about having that kind of balance and establishing some kind of balance, which is so important. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 pence on there. And like I said, so we've covered kind of like 5 kind of important roles and topics, which I think would be important for you to level up your life in 2012, 2024 with some of my experiences behind that as well. So if you enjoy this type of style video, make sure you comment down below, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this little, you know, video on self-improvement, and maybe this could be the start of something new. So yeah, I appreciate you all. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.